Disney Plus recently released the brand new TV series, The Santa Clauses, so I thought why not go back and rank all three original films. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good one today. I'm the movie ranker, and today I'm going to be ranking all three Santa Claus movies from worst to best. This is going to be my last holiday ranking I put out for you guys. The holidays just flew by so fast. I wish I could put out more rankings, but I just didn't have time with my full-time job and everything going on. But at least you got a couple of them. But before I dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future rankings that I put out. I have a lot planned for next year, so you don't want to miss it. And let's dive into this ranking. So easily coming in the last place at number 3, we got Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. This was a first time watch for me, and oh boy, it was not great. It started out okay, but I feel like as the movie went on, it just got increasingly worse and worse. There's a few redeeming qualities though. We get a lot of returning cast members, which is always great, especially at third film into your franchise. And we get a couple new characters like the in-laws, which I think that they were great. Funny enough though, where was Bernard? He was missing in here, and there's no explanation where he went. Did he retire? Did he get kidnapped? We don't know. He's just missing in action, which kind of bothers me when they take out a big side character like that with no explanation. And I thought the whole pretending that the North Pole was really Canada was really funny. I got a big kick out of that, being Canadian myself, and them just putting the flags everywhere, and the in-laws thinking that all Canadians are just real short. I thought that was a whole lot of fun. But the humor ends there. Like, the rest of this film is not funny whatsoever. It's very, very childish. I know these are family films, but this one goes above and beyond into the childish territory. Especially with like the reindeer and everything. They're just so over the top with their farting and making weird noises and shit. I'm just like, ugh. It's just not for me. Like I said, I know this is a family flick, but the first two movies had enough there for the adults and the parents so they can enjoy themselves when they're watching it with their kids. It's just way too goofy, yet they throw in this random plot line about Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus arguing and, you know, having a lot of problems with their marriage and their relationship, which it just doesn't match the tone of the overall film. But my biggest problem with this movie is certainly Jack Frost. I absolutely hate the character. He's played by Martin Short, which I already find him annoying to begin with. And then you give him this character that is written very much to be annoying, and he just bothers me so much. I hate his dialogue. I hate his motives. Everything is just dumb and stupid to me. Plus the whole escape clause thing was just dumb as well. How if Santa Claus holds the snow globe and says he'd never want to be Santa Claus, or he never doesn't want to be him anymore, he'll just not be Santa Claus anymore. It's like very lazy writing, and it absolutely makes no sense how this creates a whole nother timeline where Jack Frost becomes Santa Claus, and it just makes my head hurt trying to think about it. So yeah, this is a very bad movie and is definitely the worst in the franchise. Coming in the second place, we got Santa Claus 2. Now this was another first time watch for me. I suppose at the time this was released in 2002, I was probably growing out of that phase where I was into these type of movies, so that's probably why I never watched it. But damn, is it entertaining. It's better than it has the right to be, actually. And this was filmed 8 years after the original, and all the actors slip right into their characters seamlessly, especially Tim Allen as Santa Claus. He just doesn't miss a beat. Even like Eric Lloyd returns as his son Charlie, and it's just really cool they use all the same actors, same as part 3. I gotta give them kudos for that. And in this one, Santa's losing his powers slowly throughout the film. He has 28 days to get married to Mrs. Claus, or he'll lose all of his powers and he won't be able to be Santa Claus anymore, which I find really odd because it's weird that they gave him 8 years before he had to get married, right? You think someone would have warned him sooner? And it begs the question, what happened to the last Mrs. Claus? Like the one that was married to the guy in the first movie that fell off the roof and died. Like, she just vanished, or did they throw her out of the North Pole? What happened to her? I got questions. And she's another person missing. Also, Judy, the elf. she's nowhere to be found in this movie. She just disappears as well. I'm gonna have to do an investigation in the North Pole because Bernard's gone out of nowhere. Judy's gone. Mrs. Claus. It's like, what's going on? Are they getting kidnapped? Human trafficking? What is going on? I need answers. But the Mrs. Claus that Santa does end up being with in this film is fine as hell. Probably the finest Mrs. Claus I've ever seen. And she looks so familiar to me, and I just couldn't figure out where I seen her, but she's Juliet on Lost. That's where she's from. We also get a side plot involving a clone of Santa Claus. He's like this toy version that they make while he's gone. And that's pretty hilarious because he ends up becoming almost like a dictator. He's very extreme with his rules, and he's always punishing the elves and stuff like that. And it's just really goofy and extreme, but I found it was real entertaining. And we even get a little Easter egg of the toy version of Santa doing a few Buzz Lightyear lines, which I got a big kick out of. And they do a real good job of going back and forth with these two storylines, with the toy Santa and with the real Santa trying to find his wife. And it keeps the pacing moving really quick because it's just never a dull moment. And I really feel like this movie would pair really well with the original. They make a great duo. And speaking of the original, coming in the first place, we got The Santa Claus from 1994. Now, this movie is my childhood. Like, I watched it all the time for as long as I can remember, up to a certain age. And I just absolutely loved it. It's really one of the Christmas movies with the most magic to me. And Tim Allen just fit into this role perfectly as Scott Calvin, this businessman who thought more about work than his family. Of course, the man's in denial about Santa Claus and the North Pole, being an adult and all, but with the help of his son Charlie, he really starts to come around and get right into the Christmas spirit. And I always felt bad for Charlie in this movie when I was watching it when I was younger, because especially his stepdad and that, always trying to take away the joy of the holidays from him, you know, like, he's a kid, let him believe. But Charlie's mom and stepdad believe that Scott is only pretending to be Santa so that he could gain the love of his son Charlie, which would be really dark if that was really what he was going for. But no, this man is actually Santa Claus. We just get great world building in here when we go to the North Pole, and all the designs and the sets look great. All the elves being kids, but they're really supposed to be like really old, I thought was clever. And Bernard was just such a great side character. And to me, the most iconic moment will always be when Santa falls off the roof and Scott Calvin puts on his jacket and becomes Santa, you know, and has to go out and deliver all the gifts on that night and with his son Charlie. And I always found that part so iconic, so memorable, and I'll never ever forget that scene. And there's just so many funny moments in here, like the whole transformation of Scott turning into Santa Claus, how he's gaining weight and going to see the doctor and try to figure out what's wrong, and he doesn't stop eating like cookies and junk food and that. I just think it's so hilarious. And the comedic moments are really spread out really evenly. Great pacing to it, and it's just never a dull moment to me. I even get a kick out when he's at the park and all the kids think he's Santa and come sitting on his knee. It's just so funny. I feel like the only aspect of the film that didn't age well is a certain digital effects or certain CGI that they use when the sleigh and the reindeer are moving. When the reindeer are staying put, they're more practical and it looks actually pretty good, but obviously when they're moving it doesn't look the best. But this was in 1994, technology just wasn't there yet, but I'm not going to fault it too much for that. But this is just a true classic with lots of heart and Christmas spirit, and it's great for the entire family, and it easily comes in the first place in this ranking. So there you have it, guys. There's my ranking of all three Santa Claus movies. I hope you enjoyed it. I personally never got into the TV series that just came out because I just don't have time to watch all these TV series. I'm more of a movie guy myself. But let me know down in the comments if you watched it, what you think of it, and let me know what you think of these films. Do you rank them the same way as me, or do you have a different ranking? I'd love to hear it. Drop it down in the comments section. You can also follow me on Letterboxd, Instagram. All those links are in the description, guys. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. And that's all I got for you guys today. Merry Christmas, and thanks for watching.